Well, we're back in the shop today with the library table. I uploaded this table where I repaired it last week, and I'm happy with everything except the drawer, and specifically the dovetails part of it. If you remember, we lost some footage, and I never got to show the dovetails. And then this right here, I'm gonna fix this like it should be fixed. I'm gonna fix this right. When I'm done with this thing, this is gonna be blind dovetails. So if you want to see how I do this, stick with us and I'll show you how we're going to do it. When I get everything cut, I bring it in here and I lay it out in the orientation that it's going to be when it's finished. What I have found, you just pile it up over there, you'll wind up cutting this in backwards or whatever. So what I do, in other words, if I want to do this joint right here, I take this joint and I go cut it. When I'm done, I bring it back. And then the next joint I'll take and that way that I'll mark the outside. For instance, what I'm planning on doing is this will be the tails, this will be the pins. So when I put the T right here, that means this is the outside. It's the tailboard on the outside. So when I'm over here getting ready, I know this is the outside. But you got a groove there, but you'd always don't have a groove. For instance, here, this would be the pins. So I know that these are the outside, and this is the pins, these are the tails. And that's the best way I have found to keep up with it without, and still at the very best, you'll get one cut backwards every now and then. It ain't no count then. But if I don't lay it out like this right here and keep up the way it is, I'll screw it up every time. And it's something else about, well, any kind of joinery, dovetails, box joints. The thing about it is, these things need to be at a 90. So what I do, I got a shooting board, and I can put these things right, and it makes them dovetails come out so much better. So what I normally do, I'm gonna be referencing off the top because of this is a short one. It goes up under it. So I take top, remember the outside top, and I put it on my shooting board. All right, this is the top, this is the outside. So what I'll do, I'll flip it over and I'll pull it away from the fence. So what I'm trying to do here, I need to give it a little blade. All right, what I'm doing right here, if you don't, it'll tear out. See the gap right there? So what I'll do, will cut this thing till that gap goes away. Just as it goes away, I'll stop. If you go too far, it'll tear them fibers on the back side. You see that gap just going right away. All right, there it is. Now, I'm telling you, that right there, that is the best way to square one up. It is right on the money. All right, so basically we got our pins and the tails. So the way I do it, I take marking gauge and I mark how thick this is. This is going to this one, so I'll take this then and mark it. So basically you're marking the thickness of this, and these are the tails. So basically what I do here, for when I'm transferring the marks, it'll make sense here in a minute, but I usually pile the tape on right here. Put about 3 layers of tape right here. The green tape's a little thicker than the blue. So I'll take the marking gauge. I'm gonna rack it, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's where it comes to right there. All right. What I normally do, because I can't see this marking gauge, but you can feel it with your chisel. But to know where to stop cutting with the saw, I usually mark it out where you see it. And now the thickness of this will go to this marking gauge. All right, now thickness of this one, I will go to the pin board. You just mark the 2 faces with it. Okay, and again, gotta know where to stop at when I saw. So, marking these up. Okay, we'll put them aside. We will cut the pins. I like cutting the tails first. I use a divider, so I'm going to be going from here to here with 2 half pins and a pin in the middle, so it'll be 2 tails. But if you start from the edge, then you say, in other words, that'd be a tail. That'd be a tail. The thickness right there be the thickness of the pin. So that's what I'm looking for. And if it's not enough or too much, you lengthen and widen and close this till you get the gap you want. But to remember, if you got 2 tails, when you move it, it'd be ×2. In essence, because you got 1 back here. You got 1 here. And then here. So the thickness of your pins right there. Get a little gauge right here. I'm doing an 8-to-1. Okay, and then the half pin. Right there. Now we're going to cut the tails. See if you can see it. Well, I can't see it right there. There's a tail and there's a tail. All right, here we go. Thing about it, if you got a really good saw, it makes all the difference in the world. I bought this one from Rod Cosman. It is a really good saw. Now, what we're going to do, I always like what goes to waste. Cause I mess around here, somebody said something or whatnot, and you're cutting the wrong one out. Once you cut it out, it's hard to get it back. If y'all watch Rob Cosmic do it, that's the method I'm using. I'm going to use the tails to mark the pins. It fell on me. There it is. Okay, so the tape that we put on, remember we put the marking gauge, and this is where it comes in right here. On the back side of your pin board, this thing's you're going to slide it up and reference against the back of the pin board. Now, what I have found, 20,000 seems to work for me. So I put the back side of this square right there and put my feeler gauge right there, and then with it referencing the tape against the back side of the pin board, I slide it to the feeler gauge. Once I slide it to the feeler gauge, what you got is basically we've moved this thing 20 thousandths to the left. So when you do that, when you move to the left on the tails, we're going to mark the right of each one, and then we'll come back and move it to the right, then we'll mark the left of the tails. Okay. So again, we've moved the tail board to the left. That means on the tails, these are the tails, I marked the right side of the tails. And that is representative of the saw. And when I get this down in here, it's going to leave me a place where the saw will just sit right in there. You can't help but put it in the right place. Okay. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to move it to the right. In other words, the feeler gauge, instead of being on top, it'll now be on the bottom, just like that right there. And we're going to slide it until it hits the square. And basically what we've done, I don't think I've quite moved it. Okay, there it went. Basically what we've done, and now we've moved it. Still don't think I've got it. Okay. See where it leaves those curve marks right there? That's where the saw would go in. All right, I got the 20,000 down here. So basically I'm moving it to the right. When I go against the square now, I've moved it to the right. So if I moved it to the right, I marked the left side of the tail. See them curves? So basically what I do now I have a place for my saw to go in. Okay, I'm gonna move it down a little bit. If it's up too high, it'll just vibrate on you. Again, if you keep it, I like getting it level because this floor around here is nowhere near level. But if you keep it level every time, you kind of develop a muscle memory over time. So, I've got a kerf in here. So basically what I'm gonna do is got a place for my saw fit right in there. There you go. Here we got a frick saw. I take out the bulk of the material and then we just chisel what's left. If you do a good job here, you ain't got as much chiseling to do. So what I do, you take it all the way to the bottom and I pick it up just a little bit and I turn the Now what's left, we chisel. I usually take a board, keep and beat my bench up. You remember the outside face? This is a spot to where we need to pay attention to it. We want, if you do any blowing out, you want to go the other way with it. But what I try to do is chisel down halfway. And I get all that chiseled down halfway, then I'll flip it over and meet it. But something was to happen, you know, you're blowing out the bottom and the outside is still intact. Okay. You want to work your way back to it. Down halfway or so, and just kind of work your way back to it. Then when you're ready for that line cut, you're not removing much, and then that line will stay nice and crisp. Now get right in that line, that marking cut. When you find the spot, there it is, fell right in. So you know you're in the right place. Look at that. You want to hold that thing, that chisel up plumb. Yeah, that'll work fine. So we'll get this other one. Find that chisel, that marking line. There it is. You know it when you got it. Now it's crisp lines what you're hunting. don't want to pry against that line. You'll keep it nice and crisp. I probably better get me a smaller one. If I can get better with that frick saw, it wouldn't have as much chiseling to do. All right, I think I can finish the rest of it right here. Clean this thing on up. So I'm working from the outside in. If anything happens, it blows out the inside. Keep that outside intact. That's what everybody's going to see. Let's check that out. Okay, I believe we got it. So, all the way to the bottom, pick it back up just a little bit. There, pops it right out. All the way to the bottom, pick it up a little bit. There you go. I need this shoulder right here. You take a chisel and pop that off right there and give it a place for that saw to set. Place for the saw to set. Yeah. Just like that. There we go. While we got it here, we'll little bit of cleanup right there. Yeah, there we go. Okay, now we can take the chisel, clean the inside of that out. We will have it. Now, what we're going to do, outside, we want to start going the other way. About halfway, sneak up on that line, chisel plumb. Feel it in that marking line. About halfway. There's that marking line. Nope. We can feel it when it gets in there. Yep. There it is. All right, now we just clean it up. We're going to, from the outside, work your way in case it blows out. This did pretty good. Yeah, right there. That corner. You get all that stuff off, make sure it's center is lower. Anything, it'll hold it off and it'll have a gap in it. Oop, got a little bit right there. A little bit right there. A little bit right there. Almost got it. Almost got it. Okay. What I normally do on the inside, remember the outside? On the inside, we taper the tails, not all the way up to the end, but that ensured going together good, and also maybe it won't break it when it goes together. Yeah, okay. Well, we got our dovetails cut. Now it's time to do the glue up, glue it together. So that's what we're going to do right now. We'll start with this one. Oh gosh, right on the money. All right, I may put it in some clamps and let her set on up. We'll let that set up and then we'll work on getting that bottom and that front on it. Okay, here we are. Got the dovetails, got the drawer made. So what we're ready for now is what I want to do is take the original drawer front and we're going to glue it right there. But before I do, I need to come in here and I need to cut that off to where this thing's about 1/4 of an inch thick. And then I can work it down, plane it down, sand it down, and get it to where it's about, I'm shooting for 3/16. And then when we glue that on it, that will give this an appearance of blind dovetails. So that's what we're going to work on now. All right, we got it cut and it's smoothed down. And I've got a 1/4 inch, wind up with a 1/4 inch on each side. Now what I want to do, referencing off the top, which is, I've got it upside down, it's on the bottom. I'm going to glue this thing right here. And basically what it gives you, the look of a blind dovetail. And we got a better drawer. We got the original front where the look will be the same. So right now I'm just going to go ahead and glue this thing on and I think we're going to be fine. Again, you can't count on the glue going. You got to put it where you want it to be. It needs to be everywhere. You can't count on it going there on its own. So I know it might be a little bit too much, but in this situation, you really want to have enough. I need to get me a little bit of pressure right on that edge. Good squeeze out all over it, so that's what you're looking for. Well, we just let her set up. I'm gonna let that set up to tomorrow. I believe we about got this thing where we want it. Well, good morning. This thing has set overnight, and I think we got our the glue is set up. We'll just take clamps off and see what we got here. Well, Well, I think we've, that kind of looks like a blind dovetail, don't it? Yeah. So I'll need to drill a hole and get the knob on. Then I get my bottom put in it, and then I'm gonna, I had a little glue squeeze out right here I need to get rid of, and yeah, we're approaching the end of this thing. Yeah, I'm ticking. I'm proud we took the time to fix this right. I really do. Well, I tell you what we done. We got us a drawer here that one can be proud of. I am so proud we took the time to go ahead and build it like it should be built. I've got the dovetails like it should be. I actually got footage of the dovetail this time, didn't lose it, which was cool. However, if y'all have not seen the library table where I restored it, I'll leave a link somewhere where y'all can get to it, and y'all check that out. Meanwhile, until the next video, y'all be safe. Thank you for watching.